Hi and welcome. My name is Isabel. I'm a dietitian and I like sharing tips on health, wellness, and nutrition to help us all live our best life. If this sounds interesting to you, then please keep watching. I'd like to address a question that I get asked quite often, and that is just how much protein do we need each day? Well, the answer to this very good question is it varies. We each have our own different physique. We carry around our own individual amount of muscle mass. We each have our own metabolism that's very unique and our lifestyles. So depending on our activity level, we'll need different amounts of protein. So even taking in all of these different factors that make us all very unique, we all need a minimum amount of protein to stay healthy. So how exactly do we calculate how much protein we need? Where does this magic number come from? Well, it's actually a very easy calculation. We normally weigh ourselves in pounds. So if you take your current body weight and you divide that by 2.2, you'll have your weight in kilos. Then you take that number and you multiply that by 0.8. So that'll give you however many grams of protein you need a day based on what you're weighing right now. When we read nutrition labels, that normally lists everything in grams. So this way, by having that number for you, you can calculate and plan out your diet throughout the day and make sure that you take in enough protein each day. So for example, somebody who weighs around 120 pounds, they might need around 44 grams of protein a day. And someone who weighs 190 pounds, they might need around 69 grams of protein a day. And remember, these are all ballpark estimations, just to give us an idea, a general idea of what we should be eating every day. It's not an exact science. It doesn't have any room for flexibility or wiggle room. These are all estimations. And remember, I'm sharing what works for me. You never make any changes to your diet without consulting with your doctor first. So as you can see, once you do all the number crunching and all the calculations, we don't really need a whole lot of protein every day. The most important thing here is to make sure you get enough each day, not to go overboard and not fall short of your needs. Just to have that ballpark figure and make sure to be meeting those basic needs. Another very important factor is to have a variety. Take in your protein from a variety of different sources. That's also going to, guarantee that you meet your needs and you're not going to be bored with your daily diet. So speaking of variety, we can obtain our proteins from two different sources. It could be animal-based proteins or plant-based proteins. To give you some examples of animal-based proteins, those would be the obvious, like meat, chicken, turkey, seafood. That includes fish, shellfish. You could have protein from eggs or dairy products, which would include milk, yogurt, cheeses, cottage cheese, and so forth. So to give you some examples of some plant-based proteins, we have the obvious like soy products like tofu, edamame, and tempeh. But there are a lot of new meat analogs, which are products that are made from plants and they're made to look like meats. So you can buy sausages, ground meats, patties, burgers, and so forth, all made from different types of plants. And those are just as nutritious and offer a lot of variety if you're trying to get away from animal-based proteins. There are also beans and peas, legumes that you can have. Also nut butters, nuts and seeds add a lot of protein to your diet. And there are a lot of protein powders that are out there. So you can try making smoothies or bowls made out of these different protein powders that again are very, very nutritious. So I want to share with you a short list of some plant-based proteins, just to give you an idea of what one serving size looks like. So let's say you're going to have a cup of beans. that's about 15 grams of protein. 1 cup of oat milk is 3 grams. And let's say you're going to make a peanut butter sandwich. That's about 8 grams of protein for 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. And if you're going to make a smoothie or a bowl and you're going to add a scoop of pea protein powder, that's 18 grams of protein. And 1 cup of raw tofu, so before you cook it, that has about 20 grams of protein. So as you can see, these are all plant-based and they pack a punch when it comes to having a good amount of protein in them. So let me give you some examples of animal-based protein. So if you're going to have 1 egg, that'll give you about 5 grams of protein. If you're going to have a cup of cow's milk, that's going to be about 8 grams of protein. And let's say you're going to have around 4 ounces of a cooked meat. So if you're going to have that portion size of salmon, that would be about 27 grams of protein. And if it's going to be chicken or beef, you'd probably get around 32 grams of protein for that portion size. So as you can see, the animal-based proteins do have a little bit more protein content than the plant-based, but that doesn't take away from the plant-based. They're just as nutritious, and either one can be a part of your balanced diet. If you choose to only go plant-based or you prefer animal-based protein, again, that's a personal choice, but I just want you to get a clear picture that they're both rich in protein and can be a part of a balanced diet. So now you have an idea of what plant-based proteins are. We have an idea of what some good sources of animal-based proteins are. So you can see that you can have a variety in your diet. You can combine these foods together. You can make salads or dishes that combine both animal-based and plant-based proteins. So the key here is to make sure to meet your minimum requirements. So we reviewed the formula at the beginning, which again is a guide. It's not anything written in stone. We're all different. It's to give you a ballpark idea of what you need each day. So you know, this is my minimum. I should try to shoot for that and plan your day accordingly. And remember to add variety, try different spices and seasonings and keep things different so it doesn't become boring and eating a healthful diet doesn't become a chore. It should always be something fun and that you look forward to, not just preparing, but eating. So I hope you got something useful out of today's video. If you did, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.